Aloha, my name is Malia Gregory, and I'm running for Honolulu City Council District 4. People are tired. They're tired of political theater. They're tired of hearing the same promises while everyday life becomes more expensive. They're tired of watching their children leave Hawaii because they can't afford to build a future here. Our kupuna are tired of rising property taxes while living on fixed incomes. People aren't looking for more excuses. They're looking for results. Safer streets, better maintained roads, a city that responds in emergencies and every day. A permitting process that works, neighborhoods where families can afford to stay, and a government that spends wisely and earns the public's trust. That's what I've heard after thousands of conversations across our community, and that's why I'm running. A few years ago, my life changed forever, and during COVID, my grandma passed away. The day before she died, our family could only say, "See you later," over FaceTime. My dad couldn't even come home because of the travel restrictions. Then came the Lahaina fires. Watching that tragedy unfold made one thing clear. It was time to come home. So I sold everything I had built and returned to Hawaii. Before ever becoming a candidate, I spent years serving this community, specifically East Honolulu. I attended the neighborhood board meetings, testified at City Hall and State Capitol. I researched legislation, studied law, gathered signatures, and knocked on hundreds of doors, not because I wanted a title, but because I wanted to understand. Today, my parents and I live together in a rented, multi-generational home in East Honolulu, hoping that one day soon we'll be able to buy a home together. So when I talk about housing affordability, I'm not talking about statistics, I'm living it. Whether I was teaching middle school, coaching people to improve their health, creating programs for cancer patients, building businesses, leading organizations, or advocating at City Hall, I've always asked one question: how do we leave people better than we found them? That's why I don't see this as becoming a politician. I see it as continuing a lifetime of public service. And that's also what audit everything means to me. It's about accountability. It means asking, where did the money go? Did it solve the problem? And if not, why not? If projects fall behind schedule, the public deserves answers. And if departments aren't meeting their goals, they should present a plan to improve. If taxpayer dollars aren't producing results, we shouldn't simply spend more. We should fix what's broken. And that's how trust is built. No council member can transform Honolulu alone, but I can help rebuild the bridge between City Hall and our communities. I will bring transparency, communication, accountability. I'll help residents better understand the budget, legislation, and how decisions are made. I'm already doing these things. And most importantly, I'll make sure your voice is heard, because before decisions are made, we need to know, not after. If elected, my priorities are clear. Audit every city department for performance and accountability. Streamline permitting so families and small businesses receive timely answers. Protect our kupuna by pursuing property tax solutions that recognize the realities of fixed incomes. Invest in the basics: roads, sidewalks, drainage, parks, and public safety. Strengthen emergency preparedness by building stronger partnerships among neighborhoods, nonprofits, businesses, churches, and government before the next disaster. Continue mentoring young people by creating more opportunities for civic engagement and leadership, and restore the spirit of the ahupua'a. Stewardship, strong neighborhoods, local agriculture, and caring for our land and water. I believe our communities already have the strength. We already carry the resilience, and we have the heart to build a better future. Government should be a partner in that work, not an obstacle. I didn't come home to become another politician. I came home to serve with integrity, with excellence, and with a commitment to listening, taking action, and delivering results. So mahalo for the opportunity to share my vision with you. I would be honored to earn your trust and your vote. Mahalo.
Aloha, my name is Jason Liang, and I would like to share a story of how I came to run for City Council. My parents immigrated to Hawaii in the late 80s to find better opportunities. When I was born, they faced a familiar current day problem. a lack of access to childcare. They sent me to China to be raised by my grandma until I was old enough to attend preschool. Growing up, it was always clear to me that others had something we did not: wealth. My parents were always very honest about their lack of education, and they encouraged me to do well in school so that I didn't have to work as hard as they did. And they did work hard. Until the day my dad retired, I saw him work 6 days a week, 10 to 11 hours a day as a restaurant cook. My mom sewed aloha shirts from morning to night. Growing up, I told my parents, I want to be like you. And they told me, son, you don't want to do what we do. Thanks to my parents' hard work, they were able to partially support me through college. When I got my first full-time job, it was the most money I'd ever made at $24 an hour. But as I kept working, I found out how little that was worth in our city. My daughter was born in December of 2019 and diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 1 year and 3 months old. Without access to childcare, our household has had to survive on a single income. Despite obtaining the education my parents lacked, I found myself in the same situation as they did, without access to childcare and a single income that had to be stretched thin. At first, I blamed myself. Every few months, I'd be sent to a panic and look for a second job in order to shore up my finances. When I finally found that second job, there were several days a week where I would only see my family for a few minutes. As I confided in my friends and family, I found out that they were going through similar struggles. If the only way to earn a decent standard of living is to be one of the lucky few, or to work 10 to 11 hours a day, that's not a broken system. It's rigged. That's why I'm running for city council as a Democratic Socialist. Our economy just isn't working out for the majority of people. Housing isn't affordable, groceries are expensive, and our wages just aren't keeping up. These are all problems that our government can solve, but the majority in power lack the will to do so. I will do everything I can to address these issues because, like you, I don't have faith that anyone else will. When elected into office, I will fight for better buses. I will fight to create affordable housing for everyone, and I will fight for affordable groceries. We will fund these programs by taxing the highest valued residential and commercial properties. And I will serve as a window in the city hall in order to counter the corruption. Although I'm the candidate, this campaign isn't about me. It's about a movement that prioritizes the working class and acknowledges the issues that we face at every waking moment of our day, and meets those issues with the will and determination to fix them, because that is what the working people deserve. So that's my story and why I'm running for city council. But my story isn't too different from most other people on Oahu. And that's why we need to come together to create a mass movement and demand an island that we can all afford to live on. The public deserves better buses. They deserve housing that's actually affordable, and they deserve an honest government. The rich and powerful aren't going to hand over these things freely. Democratic Socialists believe that the working class deserve more and that our current capitalist system is inherently unfair. We believe that the government should be on the side of the working class and not on the side of big money. I hope that I can earn your vote on August 8th and that you'll go to my website, jasonforhnl.com, to volunteer or donate so we can spread the message of this movement. Mahalo.
Aloha, I'm Trevor Ozawa, and I'm running to represent East Honolulu on the Honolulu City Council. East Honolulu is home. I was raised here. My wife and I are raising our 2 daughters here. And you'll find me coaching youth sports on the same courts and fields where I grew up. This place made me who I am. I want to talk story with you for a few minutes because lately I've done a lot more listening than talking. All across our community, families are telling me the same thing. It's getting harder to afford to live in the place we love. Groceries, rent, electricity, gas. Our keiki grew up here and then can't afford to stay here. Our kupuna worked their whole lives here and now worry about being priced out of their own neighborhoods. The cost of living isn't a talking point to us. It's the kitchen table conversation in nearly every home in East Honolulu. So here's the question I keep coming back to. Is Honolulu Hale feeling what you're feeling? Because while families here were tightening their belts, the one thing that moved fast at Honolulu Hale was a pay raise for the people inside the building. Council pay is up 86% over 4 years. And in that same stretch, our firefighters, the people who run toward the danger the rest of us run from, were offered 3% and asked to give up the raises they earn for years of experience. The middle income for a single person on Oahu is around $50,000. When the people inside the building take that much, and the people who protect us are offered that little, the priorities are upside down. And that's why so many of you tell me you feel unheard. Here's what I believe. This seat was never meant to be a career. Back in 1992, the people of Honolulu voted to limit their council members to 2 terms, not because they were against experience, but because they believed in citizen legislators, neighbors who serve and then go home, not career politicians who settle in and forget who sent them. In 2016, the people were asked to loosen that rule and allow a 3rd term, and the people said no. The people have spoken. The least we can do is listen. That's the whole job, really. You show up in the quiet years between elections, not just when the campaign signs go up. You listen in the room, not from a slogan, and you remember that this seat belongs to the community. It's a public trust, not a stepping stone to somewhere else. That's the standard I held when you sent me there before, and it's how we delivered. Safer parks and new playground equipment for our keiki, roads paved and sidewalks cleared, funding secured to protect our neighborhoods after the floods. I'm not telling you that to brag. It's just the standard I hold myself to. And I'm ready to bring it back. I'm not new to this. I've sat in that chamber. I know how Honolulu Hale actually works, and I know how to make it move. I have the experience, the know-how, and the fire to get things done for East Honolulu. But experience should make you humble, not entitled. So I'm not asking for this seat because I think I'm owed it. I'm asking because it's time for fresh energy, an independent voice, and a council member who answers to you and no one else. This was never about any one person. It's about us, together, and whether city government still works for the people it serves. Showing up, standing up for East Honolulu. Mahalo, and I'll see you out in the community.
Aloha, I'm Tyler Dos Santos-Tam, and for the past 4 years, I've represented District 6 from Kalihi to Kaka'ako on the Honolulu City Council. I want to humbly ask for your vote for re-election to our City Council. There's so much more that we can do to make Honolulu a city that works. When I say that Honolulu should be a city that works, my vision is for a city that creates enough housing that local people can afford, a city that supports working people and finds ways to uplift wages, and a city that gives people more access to quality public transportation and public spaces. None of this happens by accident, though. It only happens when we push forward good policy. I'm proud of my record in passing more of my bills into law than any other council member. In fact, over the past 4 years, half of the new laws and ordinances originating from the City Council came from my office. These dealt with issues both large and small, issues that matter to real people. Some highlights include making Honolulu the first city in the country to require Narcan in all bars and nightclubs to help stem the opioid overdose crisis. Creating an affordable financing grant program for apartments with rents that local people can afford. Setting up a grant program for small businesses negatively impacted by rail construction. And establishing the new Downtown Honolulu Business Improvement District to support entrepreneurs and clean up our downtown and Chinatown areas. Throughout all of this, I've kept Oahu's working families at the heart of everything that I do, which is why I've spoken up so vocally against the bus fare increases that would have harmed the most vulnerable riders, crafted a more fair and thoughtful sewer fee policy to help ease the strain on low usage and low-income households, and fought back when the city budget proposals would have fired the very city staff that so many people depend on for needed services. I truly believe that we can make Honolulu a city that works. That is, a city that delivers housing that locals can afford, a city where our neighborhoods are clean and safe, and a city where small businesses thrive. We can do this if we work together. In the next few years, and with your help, we as a city can keep moving forward, which is why I would be honored to have your support, your trust, and your vote in this year's general election.
Aloha, I am Val Aquino Okimoto, Councilmember for District 8 and your current City and County Budget Chair. For the last 8 years, it has been my absolute honor and privilege of serving our community, both in the state legislature and now at the Honolulu City Council. Throughout this journey, my focus has never wavered. My team and I have dedicated ourselves to tackling the everyday issues that matter most to the residents of our islands. It has been my privilege to serve as your City Council member for District 8, which represents the communities of Mililani, Pearl City, Aiea, and Waipahu. My roots are from Kauai, but my heart is always in District 8, and every day it is my goal to serve you with a clear mission and absolute integrity. Advocating for accountability and transparency in government you can trust is of utmost importance to me. Because of that, I have consistently pushed to ensure that city processes are open, honest, and answerable to the people. Trust goes hand in hand with security. Public safety is one of my greatest passions. As a mom, nothing matters more to me than ensuring our neighborhoods are safe and welcoming environments for our families to live, work, and play. Keeping our families safe also means protecting your hard-earned money. I believe deeply in fiscal responsibility and ensuring that your taxpayer dollars are managed properly, spent wisely, and invested back into the communities where we belong. A thriving community relies on a strong local economy. That is why I'm fully committed to supporting and assisting our local small businesses, ensuring they have the tools, resources, and the space they need to succeed. Local government is all about delivering results. Whether it's clearing fallen trees, fixing our roads, improving neighborhood safety, or addressing our housing needs, my District 8 team and I have done our absolute best to listen to your concerns and take immediate action. No issue is too small when it impacts your quality of life. My passion to serve our community is just as strong today as it was when I first stepped into office. I am deeply honored and grateful for the continued opportunity to serve as your City Council member and look forward to working for you all over the next 4 years. Please feel free to contact me at val@valokimoto.com and follow me on social media at Val Okimoto. This 2026 election, I humbly ask for your continued support and vote. Please remember to vote Val. Mahalo.